President Donald J. Trump, joined by his EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt, announcing that the U.S. will withdraw from the Paris Climate Change Accord. The agreement that the U.S. just joined back in October of last year, announced by then President Obama. Here on C-SPAN and C-SPAN Radio, we welcome your reaction. Call us at 202-748-8921. That's the line for Republicans. Democrats use 202-748-8920, and for independents and all others, 202-748-8922. Also on Twitter, we are at C-SPAN. The president this afternoon saying that he will cease all implementation of the non-binding Paris Accord. The Vice President Mike Pence there introducing the president earlier. And in just a bit here, too, we're going to show you all of the president's remarks that went about a half an hour after about a 25-minute delay or so. We will go first to John in Glenside, Pennsylvania, on our Republican line. Hi, John.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, thanks. You know, I thought this was our president's finest moment as president so far. This is finally putting America first. The prior leaders of our country, they really want the plaudits of men with these agreements that obviously take us further and further down and allow other nations to kind of, I guess, steal our wealth or borrow our wealth. So finally, he's putting a stop to this madness, really. And thank God that we have an opportunity to, get business booming again with something where there was not a level playing field. Now it's going to be a little bit more level. So, I thank God for that.
The president, in his announcement this afternoon, sets in motion really a 3 to 4 year process by which the U.S. would completely withdraw from the Paris Agreement. What are your thoughts? We go to Bert in Centralia, Washington, on the independent line.
Hello?
Hi, Bert. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm been studying this business for many, many years. One of our governors of the state, Dixie Ray, wrote some incredibly good books on the subject, and I have created a presentation that shows what's really going on from facts, not pseudoscientists. And I would hope C-SPAN might organize a debate or something on this, because the real truth is, and this came about many years ago, global warming is not happening, and ocean rising is going to continue, and unless our people pay real attention to what's the truth and what's really happening, they can't do anything about it.
The Paris Agreement, formerly called the United Nations Framework on Climate Change, 147 nations of 197 have ratified that accord, including the United States last October. As we continue live and taking your calls there, Steve Bannon, the President's Chief of Staff, writes Priebus next to him. We hear from Detroit, and Donald's on our Republican line. Donald, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Once again, I want to thank C-SPAN for bringing programming like this to the American people. Hey, listen, I think what Donald Trump did today was very courageous. He's going to get a lot of pushback on this subject from a lot of people. I'm someone that voted for Barack Obama twice, 2008 as well as 2012, and then I pivoted and I voted for Donald Trump in 2016. And I just contrast his bravery against what we saw last night from Hillary Clinton. It's just amazing to me that she is still stating that there was intervention by another country that caused her to lose the election. I'm someone from the city of Detroit, again, part of the Barack Obama coalition that voted for Donald Trump precisely for reasons like this. I'm taking these bold, courageous stands and doing some things that the American people need, putting us back to work. I think that's the most important thing.
Former President Obama has issued a statement on the news today that the U.S. will withdraw from the Paris Accord, saying, in part, simply put, the private sector already chose a low-carbon future, and for the nations that committed themselves to that future, the Paris Agreement opened the floodgates for businesses, scientists, engineers to unleash high-tech, low-carbon investment and innovation on an unprecedented scale. We'll show you some of the remarks of President Obama back in October when he announced the implementation. Let's go first to our Democrats line, Newport Beach, California. Theodore, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Fine, thank you.
When I was watching Scott Pruitt congratulate, pat him and Donnie on the back, I just couldn't help but feel as if this is what it is like to live in a totally Orwellian society where words really no longer have any sort of meaning. Special interest, I guess. Scott Pruitt was pretty deep into special interest. Yeah, it just feels super strange. I feel like I'm on a bad trip, honestly.
Do you think that Scott Pruitt was a major influence in the president's decision?
Who knows? I mean, the dude seems to just kind of listen to himself in respects to Donald.
That's Theodore, Newport Beach, California, getting your reaction to the news. The U.S. is withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord announced by President Trump this afternoon. 202-748-8921 for Republicans, 202-748-8920 for Democrats, Independents, and others. 202-748-8922. On Twitter, looking for your tweets at C-SPAN. This one from Brian, who says, absolutely no evidence that Donald Trump is capable of negotiating a better deal. Sad day for America and science. Bobby says, we are so blessed to have Donald Trump as our president and our vice president. How refreshing to see a candidate keeping promises. This one saying that what does it matter if we can save our jobs if there's no clean air to breathe by 2040? And from Sandy, great day for America. We don't need to support the globalist creeps, he says, who want our taxpayer dollars to fund junk science. San Clemente, California, next up. The Independent line, we hear from Jack. Hello there.
Hi, yes. I just wanted to comment as an independent who voted for Hillary. I think it's interesting withdrawing from this agreement, hearing from Trump's speech saying that if the Democrats wanted to come together and form a new agreement or make changes to the agreement, I'm just kind of confused and perplexed why he didn't do that instead of withdraw from the agreement altogether. I mean, if this is a president who campaigned on working for all Americans and making America great again, why is he always piggybacking forth that he's not actually working for the people, whereas this deal is supposed to work for the American people and the greater good of our future, while kind of transitioning the job market for the coal miners, which are the constituents which he won in Pennsylvania.
Well, the president did talk about, he actually invited Democrats to help him, quote, negotiate our way back into Paris, or what he termed a New Deal. Keep in mind the announcement today kind of starts the wheels in motion for a 3.5 to 4 year period by which the United States would fully exit from this accord, which was announced last October by President Obama and then implemented on October 4th of last year. Redding, California. Sandy, Susan, hello there. Democrats line.
Hi. Yes. I'm appalled at what Donald Trump is doing. I'm in a Republican-controlled county, and they just denied a company that wanted to expand, and we desperately need jobs. And they denied a company that wanted to expand, not because of the environment, because, I don't know, they just didn't want the people here. So when Donald Trump says that the environment is causing us to lose jobs, he needs to think again that it's not causing us to lose jobs. The companies are going overseas where the pay people is cheaper. We're losing our jobs for money to other countries, and this has nothing to do with the environment. And environmental jobs bring jobs in. When we bring innovation in, we bring jobs in, and he's not fighting for that.
Well, Susan, former President Obama kind of agrees with you in his statement late this afternoon after President Trump's announcement, part of his statement, the end of his statement, saying that the nations that remain in the Paris Agreement will be the nations that reap the benefit in jobs and industries created. I believe the United States of America should be at the front of the pack. But even in the absence of American leadership, says President Obama, even as this administration joins a small handful of nations that reject the future, I'm confident that our states, cities, and businesses will step up and do even more to lead the way and help protect the future generations, the one planet we've got. Similar comments that he made last October in announcing the deal.
The Paris Agreement alone will not solve the climate crisis. Even if we meet every target embodied in the agreement will only get to part of where we need to go. But make no mistake, this agreement will help delay or avoid some of the worst consequences of climate change. It will help other nations ratchet down their dangerous carbon emissions over time and set bolder targets as technology advances, all under a strong system of transparency that allows each nation to evaluate the progress of all other nations. And by sending a signal that this is going to be our future, a clean energy future, it opens up the floodgates for businesses and scientists and engineers to unleash high-tech, low-carbon investment and innovation at a scale that we've never seen before. So this gives us the best possible shot to save the one planet we've got.
Former President Barack Obama will show you all of his remarks in just a bit. You can also find him at cspan.org. A couple more of your calls and comments on the news that the administration withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord. Let's hear from Charlotte, North Carolina. On the other's line, Judith.
Yes, I'm a former Republican. Now I'm an unaffiliated voter. And I just say thank God for Donald Trump, who is standing up for our sovereignty, our taxpayers, for heaven's sakes, who have been totally laughed at and ignored for decades by both parties. And I stress both parties. So we're thankful for this president who has guts, backbone, and tries to do what's right. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let's see what some of you are saying on Twitter. This one, Tom saying the agreement is bad for the U.S. Good riddance. Colleen with a tweet, he is making a spectacle out of pulling out of a global alliance. Nothing to be proud of, joining two third world countries as the only ones. Let's hear from Oklahoma City and Wesley on our Democrats line.
Hi there, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that I agree with what Obama was trying to accomplish. I don't think Donald Trump is accurately portraying what the Americans need and want. I also think that Donald Trump shouldn't just focus on making America great again. I think he should focus on making the world as a whole great and trying to come together with leaders around the world to try and reduce our carbon footprint. And with that being said, I think last year we created like 5.1 kilotons of carbon, which would take like 8 or 9 other countries to even amount to that. So we have like the largest carbon footprint in America. I mean, in the world.
Okay, Wesley, one more call here. Let's go for, let's hear Brilliant, Wisconsin. Steve on the Republican line. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering if Mr. Trump has taken leave of his senses. Virtually every country in the world understands global warming and everything is interconnected. Doesn't he understand that once we've got our water polluted and our air to the point where we can see it, we won't be able to live on this planet anymore?
That's Steve. Thanks for your comments. All your comments, as a matter of fact, more at twitter.com/cspan and on our Facebook page. Tomorrow morning on Washington Journal as well, we're going to ask you to grade the president and Congress, not just on climate change, but much more broadly. We'll hear from columnists and from radio hosts across the country